You're going to be successful in business, you have to be willing to hire people that are smarter than you.
You can't do it yourself. You have to have people that you trust.
Everybody is as important as the next person.
You have to take risks.
Every business should be prepared to be sold in 5 years.
Business Newsmakers is brought to you by Tompkins Mahopac Bank, your local, mobile, and remarkable community bank.
Hello, and welcome to Hudson Valley News Network's Business Newsmakers Show, brought to you by Tompkins Mahopac Bank. I'm Filomena Fanelli of Impact PR and Communications, and I'm here to help you get all up in the business of the wow-worthy leaders and community change makers from the Hudson Valley. Today, we're fortunate to be joined by Dan Pizzarelli, owner of DC Indoor Golf and DC Sports. Dan, thanks for swinging by the studio today.
Thanks for having me. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm okay.
Dan, I am so excited for you because you just hit 3 years of opening DC Sports after 6 years in business with DC Indoor Golf. Can you tell me a bit about the inspiration behind owning what's now DC Sports?
Well, as my daughter goes to daycare in the Wappingers area, and as I'm driving her to daycare, we pass this place all the time that wasn't open. And my daughter being 5, she likes princesses and everything else, and she's seen a castle, and she's, hey Dad, what's going on with that castle? Maybe I can get a castle. And I was like, well, let me look into it. We were looking for a second location anyway, and that one came about, and we kind of started talking and negotiations, and here we are 3 years later, and I got my daughter a castle.
The former Fun Central spot, now your daughter's and everyone else's castle in the community.
Yeah, well, now my daughter thinks it's her castle, so she wants to put her name on the castle, Maddie's castle, and my son, he likes the pirate ship, so he wants his name on the pirate ship, but I don't know if we're gonna go that far or not.
It's a big leap of faith, though, from seeing something on the highway and admiring it to saying, I'm gonna make that my business to do something with that space, and especially one that's so iconic in the community. Was there some sort of research that you had to do in order to decide if that was a wise move?
Well, going there as a kid, I knew it was a viable thing. The other business model that I have at DC Golf with the simulators, and we needed to add more simulators. So in doing, we could add more simulators inside, but plus open up the outside to an all year round facility. So that turned the mini golf and the bumper boats. We kind of did some renovations, brought it back to life a little bit. The batting cages in the back, they were in dire need of some help. So we thought instead of remodeling those, we would knock it all down and add sand volleyball. And I have nothing to do with sand volleyball. I had no idea what I just had a vision when I'm in vacation and what people want to do. And what do they want to do? They want to play volleyball.
So you never played volleyball yourself? You just thought this is something the public might enjoy?
Yeah, never. I never thought playing high school, nothing. I never did anything with volleyball. I just thought that people would enjoy it as a whole, as young professionals, as adults.
In order to run your business, you probably have a lot of employees between the two locations. How many people do you have to employ during the high point in the season?
Wintertime, I probably have 8 to 10 employees at DC Indoor Golf. And then I probably have another 8 to 10 down in Wappingers at DC Sports. And then in the summertime, DC Sports probably has 25 employees.
So you have to hire then not just your regular help, but then also seasonal help?
Seasonal help, yeah. We do have a lot of college kids that come home. We probably have anywhere from 12 to 15 college kids, or starting college. Maybe they're graduating and they're staying local. That helps us out a lot too.
Have there been unique challenges in hiring young people or anything you've learned about that process?
Well, I find the training takes a little longer than training somebody that's a little older. The kids are, maybe their first job and they're a little tentative, and it takes a little time to adjust to following the instructions, staying on task. I find that we do a lot of lists. So we have stuff to do lists. There's different training things that we have. There's different cleaning things that we have to do. And it's really easier if we have a checklist and the initial when it's done.
What's one of the best things that you've learned in having a family of entrepreneurs? I know that your parents are entrepreneurs, your grandfathers were. What was something you learned in watching others?
Well, I really like the freedom of not a 9 to 5 or an 8 to 5 job. My job is not like that. I am, 9 to 10 o'clock, 7 days a week. I'm on call all the time. It is stressful when you want to do things, but it gives you leeway to do other things. If I need to take off and I need to go see my kids at school, I can. If I want to go on vacation, we go. But there is days that, hey, I can't do anything this weekend. I have to cover everybody's shift because everybody's away. Basically, when I grew up, everybody was in their business by themselves, and they didn't have to depend on anybody. And that was the whole thing I liked. I didn't want to, hey, I'm in construction and we're slow, I got to lay you off. I didn't want that. I wanted to just keep moving for myself and keep doing everything as best as I can.
Even though there's a lot of autonomy in running a business, you are deeply connected to your community, particularly the young professionals in the area, and you recently won a 40 under 40 from the Dutchess County Regional Chamber of Commerce, correct?
I did, yes.
And in doing so, you deepened some connections. Can you tell me about why fostering those connections in the community is important to you?
We've talked and we try to network, and we think that growing the community comes from the young professionals, because as everybody gets older, if there's nobody to take their place or move forward with new ideas, everything stalls. So we need to focus on moving forward and growing as a group, trying to give back as much as we can. Anything
new on the horizon for DC Sports or DC Indoor Golf, and what's next?
We're adding summer camps this year, which is I think is a cool feature. We're going to do it at DC Sports, and it's going to be like an 8 to 5 kind of thing. Drop your kids off, they can have fun all day, and then pick them back up.
It seems like one of the secrets to your success has been simply observing what's going on around you and what other people enjoy and bringing it back to the Hudson Valley.
Well, yeah, we try. The other thing, we've tried to modify things that are new. Nobody 6 years ago, 7 years ago, nobody had golf simulators. Nobody even knew what it was. So that was a big risk starting that, and year one we were worried, but as we got moving, we started turning 30 and 40 calls away a weekend. Now after year 3 or so, we're like, hey, we're still turning calls away, so we decided to expand a little bit more down to DC Sports. And now we have 5 simulators down there. And
so you were the first to the market.
Correct.
And do you think that was key to the success, was doing it before everyone else?
Well, it's a success doing it first, but it's also a high risk of doing it first because you don't know if it's going to work or not.
And how long do you think anybody out there with an idea should give it before they know if their idea is a good one?
It's really not an, if the idea works, but, go with it. You got to put all your heart and soul into it and make it work. There has been other simulator places that opened. Now there's another one in Peekskill. Now there's another one in Kingston. But both of those people came to me first. They were in my facility. They used our facility for a year before they even thought about opening their other places.
Well, thank you for bringing some of these first to our region. It's been a pleasure watching your business grow and enjoying it with my friends and family. And so I thank you not only for swinging by the studio today, but also for bringing some new experiences to our region.
Well, I appreciate the time.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for tuning in to Hudson Valley News Network's Business Newsmakers Show. I hope just watching today inspires you to look around at what's missing in your community and to bring it here for all of us. Thank you for tuning in.
Now it's time for this week's Tompkins Tip with Amy Greiner, Vice President of Business Development.
Enjoying good relationships isn't just about socializing with friends and family. Business owners that cultivate a good relationship with their banker foster heightened communication that can benefit their company's goals and success. To that end, talk and meet with your banker quarterly or at least twice a year face-to-face. Meetings provide the opportunity to update your banker on what's going on and to ask questions. Provide your banker with a sense of your firm's day-to-day operations and future plans to stay on top of financing needs, including plans to hire new staff, purchase new equipment, or expand the firm's physical operations. Talk with your banker about potential problems for recommendations on appropriate strategies to preserve equity and cash flow. Introduce your banker to other members of your management team to have a senior person in place who can work with the bank when you're not available. Provide timely and accurate financial information to your banker to best determine your present and future financial needs. It's easy to see that when it comes to business banking, staying in touch with your banker isn't just smart, it's also essential.
Business Newsmakers is brought to you by Tompkins Mayapack Bank, your local, mobile, and remarkable community bank.